So Freddie Gibbs released his song called The Black Illuminati, and I literally went on to this music video to look for symbolism because I said there has to be. I don't usually do this, but for this one I specifically went to see the video to find symbolism, and of course there were many. So before he actually released the video for the song, he had released a cover image for the song when he released it as an audio, and that alone started as being weird. The cover image he used for this song is a pink bunny who is in Egypt with the pyramids behind his back, and it's dressed up as the old Egyptian pharaohs or the Egyptian pagan gods. It has a G at the top of his forehead. I'll get to that in a second. But this bunny or rabbit actually represents Ishtar, who is associated with Easter. The name actually comes from Ishtar, Easter. Her symbols were a bunny and eggs because it was believed that she came to earth in an egg, which is why the rabbit and egg have a connection in Easter, because that was around the time that it was believed that she came on earth in an egg. It's also a sign of fertility as well. Now the G on the forehead of the bunny simply represents the G from Freemasonry. There's no other way to say this. It represents God and geometry as they believe, and they also believe that they are gods themselves, these Freemasons, and also they are referring to their own god, which is Lucifer, who they worship. Some people might say it represents Gibbs. Yeah, no. This symbol is also used again in his chain later in the video. For a song named Black Illuminati, the symbolism in this video was actually quite subtle. I expected a lot more of it, but then again, these people believe in duality and contrast, so if the song is about Illuminati, they're not gonna bombard you with the symbolism too much or too obviously, because you see a lot more of signs in other songs than this, but it was quite subtle. So I actually zoomed in into these pictures to see this. This is the all-seeing eye. They also believe that this is the eye of Horus, that's why they use it, but I believe, and I stand by this still, that this represents the eye of the Antichrist, who's believed to be blind in the one eye and can only see through one of his eyes, the eye of the providence. This has many meanings, the all-seeing eye, but it's there, it's in his jacket, it's in the patterns. It's very subtle to notice, but once you zoom in and you actually notice, that one is clearly the all-seeing eye. This one was also quite subtle. If I didn't go into this music video looking for something to notice, I wouldn't notice this. It was right by the end of the screen. But this represents the pentacle. It's a sign of white magic. It represents the spirit and the four elements, and I believe without the circle around it, it's called a pentagram. However, with the circle around it, as shown on the music video as well, it represents the pentacle, which is a sign used by witches to let other witches know that yes, we are in the club as well. It's a sign used to summon demons as well. But in white magic, they believe that they are in contact with or getting help from good demons, and they believe that this is better than dealing with black magic and actually getting in contact with the evil demons. That's how they justify it. But either way, it's both witchcraft and it's both evil. There's no other way to say this. So in the next picture or part of the video, there was quite a lot going on, so I broke it down into two pictures. These are actually zoomed in pictures. So in the first one, you can clearly see that your man Jadakiss as well, he's involved in this as well. He's throwing up the devil horns, and in the background you can't clearly see this, but Freddie Gibbs is also throwing up the devil horns. But even more subtle than that, which you would never notice unless you're actually looking for these symbols, if you zoom in and look at the rooftop, it's full of the all-seeing eye, also known as the eye of Horus, and what I believe is the eye of the Antichrist, the Jau, who's blinded in the one eye. There are many of them, and you would never notice this. It's way far in the back, and even the picture I showed you of Freddie Gibbs and Jadakiss throwing up the devil horns, even that's zoomed in. So you're not going to notice this, but it's still going to register in your subconscious, and the energy that these symbols channel, they are going to affect you. There's no other way to say this. Now, if you don't believe in energy and all these things, then that's fine. If you think we live in just a physical world, you can continue living that way, but it doesn't change the fact that you are still affected by these things. The next one is a bit more spooky and is disturbing, and I actually hope that I'm reaching on this one, and this is not what it actually represents. But then again, based on what we have heard in the recent years about the entertainment industry and all these famous people, this might not be that far-fetched. You can't really see this, but if you zoom in, you can clearly see the picture, and I'll let you interpret this as well. So I'm going to do this in a logical step-by-step way so we understand on which point we agree on and until when we disagree. So the first thing we have to establish is that the person on the left is actually not a grown person. We can clearly see this, right? It's not a grown person, the one on the left, and it's wearing a frock and it looks like a girl. So that's established. I hope we at least can agree up to this point. Now the person next to it looks like a man to me. It looks like a man to me. Maybe from the other angle it might be a woman, but from my angle and from the angle this picture was taken or the video was shot, it looks like a man. And if I may go even further, it looks like actually a teenager, and the one on the left might be someone younger than a teenager. But the way the picture has been taken, it doesn't really represent a parental type of picture pose. It represents more of a romantic pose, and that's why it gets disturbing, because what is it representing? What are they trying to put in our subconscious mind? We already know that the P peoples, their movement is being pushed as well. So soon enough you're gonna have these people being accepted openly as part of the letter people, the alphabet people. They might be added into this shit. And the narrative and the stage has been set for this for many years now. I can't even name the groups now because this video will automatically get shadow banned. I've tried it many times. These people actually can't even talk about them, because when you make a video on YouTube, the subtitles are generated by the audio, the things you say, and they filter your shit out based on what you say. But we all know what we're talking about. The word that starts with a P and ends with a Ilia. You get the gist. So if this picture is actually what it represents, then that's disgusting and beyond disturbing, because the fact is they're not even putting it in our face. Basically they're putting it right where it can register in our subconscious mind, so we can actually be more accepting of this slowly and surely. That's how they start with the other letter people as well. If you may remember, it didn't just come out of nowhere that, oh look, you have to accept these people, and if you don't, and if you say anything, you're the worst person alive and you can get cancelled. It was a slowly and surely type of process, and that's exactly what's happening in this one, I believe as well. I'm afraid. Look up the organization that are defending these people now. They've got money behind them. They get donations from well-known people. Look into this. This is public information and easily searchable online, or if you actually read books, which I doubt a lot of these people do. That's why they can't believe any of this shit. But yeah, towards the end, Freddie Gibbs signs off by throwing up the eye symbol again with his one hand, the Eye of Horus. This one looked more like the Eye of Horus, but they don't actually know what it actually means even deeper, because there are levels to how much is revealed to these people depending on their degree. In Freemasonry, this is clear. In Freemasonry, there is many degrees to this shit. So they are not told what things mean and what their actual deeper meanings are, depending on their ranking. And at the end, the video zooms in to the moon, which is basically another tribute to Ishtar / Semiramis, the moon goddess. But yeah, this video was full of symbolism. I'm sure I've missed something, but if you did notice other things as well, do let me know. Oh yeah, and I also noticed a phallic symbol / the obelisk in the video as well. It's a phallic symbol and represents Osiris's missing penis after he was killed by Set, and he was cut into many pieces, but his phallus was missing. That's why you see this obelisk everywhere. It's erected in all the biggest cities in the world in one shape or the other. This is to make up for the fact that Osiris had, you know, lost his phallus, and he was technically the first transformer. But yeah, and this, by the way, is just the breakdown of the visuals. If you actually break down what they were actually saying in the song as well, I already noticed a few things, but that could be a whole nother video, but that would just make this video even longer, so I'm not going to do that in this one. But yeah, if you're still listening, thanks for watching. I'm out. Peace.